Hey, welcome to Mr. Brian's Amazing World. Today we're out here pruning some grapes, and it's a beautiful early March day. It's not quite spring yet, but first thing I need to do is get a little water from the pond, and I don't want the cleanest of water. I kind of want something that's got some nutrition to it, if you will. Little bacteria, give some encouragement. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to do a little cloning. And I have grapevines everywhere, all around this garden here. And basically, all these here need to be pruned and cut back. So if I pick certain ones and I drop them all into a bucket here, let me show you what we have to do. It's actually really simple. You want to find the certain spots, anything you know that's not going to produce. Let's see, last year I had a grape on that, so we know that's not going to produce anything. We'll get rid of that completely. So this is a little candidate here. Got tangled on that, of course. Anyway, this little piece, make sure that's looking good there. No, that's dead. It's garbage. All right, we don't even want to bother with that one. Here's another dead one. Let's get rid of this too. Throw this over the side. Throw that in the boiler in a minute. Anything dead, go ahead and get that out of there. I don't even want to bother with it. Okay. So let's see. That looks bad. And that looks all right. So we can start. We'll get rid of that end. Take this whole lead right here. Okay. So now what I'll do, I'll stick that end in there. And I'll cut it up above one of these nodes. About that much. Now that'll give it enough encouragement to grow out of there. Stick this back in there and do the same thing again. That one is quite a reach up to here. Either way, I'm going to leave it. Let that go. Cut that side off. And if you leave a little bit like that, it encourages a root to come out of that. These things help with rooting and grabbing moisture. I'll cut this back here. This way this little node can grow. And then this one up here has a node as well. We'll leave that. So that one has two chances. This is loaded with them. And we'll leave that in there. If you're lucky, that'll get covered and it'll start sprouting roots right out of that little crotch. So basically, as you're going through doing all this, you may as well just keep doing a whole bunch of them. You know, that much depth. Stick it back in. Leave a little bit on the top there, and then it'll grow from the one below it. Leave a little bit, and then get rid of the garbage. That one's kind of iffy. Well, it's alive at the bottom. Needless to say, I have quite a few of these to do. That's just one. Now, they're not all going to grow. They're probably all going to put out leaves and try to put buds out of these little spots. But very few of them are actually going to get roots and develop a system and grow and absorb the nutrients from the water. Now, as soon as you start getting some roots on there, you kind of want to get them into the soil and then encourage them to turn into normal plants. Another way, also add water or moisture to the leaves. As soon as these sprout and start coming out, you're going to want to keep this wet and moist, because there's no way for these leaves to get the moisture that they need until it puts out a root system. So you're going to have to use the leaves themselves as the roots. So if you keep the leaves moist, it'll keep it alive, and it'll give it enough nutrition to send down energy and build the root system, and then the roots will have the energy to build new buds and keep the thing alive and start a whole new plant. Kind of shocking. It's kind of neat. So I will do this bucket and fill it up with probably, I don't know, a couple hundred of these, and maybe 10 will survive, which is awesome. You know, you get 10 of them that grow. That's 10 plants that you were just going to throw out anyway, and all you did was stick them in a bucket. And it's pretty easy. Just let them sit, and that starts a whole nother crop of all your stuff. So follow along and I'll show you what this turns into. As you can see, that is a bunch of cuttings in there, over 100 of them. They're all maybe 18 inches long, 2 feet long, somewhere in that neighborhood. Just keep pruning and try various things, different lengths, different nodes, how far they stick out. I seem to notice this worked best when it has just a little bit. This way this top tip can rot right up here. Meanwhile, this is still full of loaded energy and has plenty of nutrition for it. If you cut it too close, you run the risk of killing that. At least until it gets established and puts out other shoots. Let's see. Got a bunch of them done. Spring is here. Well, slowly getting here. I wanted to prune this before the sap started pushing through these, because once it starts flowing, it's a little different story. You kind of have to hit them early. And it doesn't take long to get these going. In 2 years, you'll be pruning them again yourselves and having more little starters to work with. And you're always constantly going through it. You want to have a decent set of shears and give it a quick, clean cut on a little bit of an angle. You can see every one of these is on a slight angle. It encourages a little root growth out of that. Like I said, try different things. It's going to be your best way to figure out what works and what doesn't. I mean, come on, you're throwing this out anyway. It's a bucket full of water, and you'll just leave it sit kind of like it is in the sun. So the plants actually think they're real plants. They just don't have roots yet. And once they get some leaves, you keep them moist to some degree. You're not going to be out here every day, but do what you can. Other than that, once they root, stick them in the dirt and let them go, and they take off pretty well. I'd say so. Make sure you like and subscribe. Mr. Brian's Amazing World. We show you all kinds of stuff, how to do things on the homestead here and what we do, all different various things. And we're not professionals by any means. And a lot of this is up high for these grapes, for example, to keep the deer out of them, because otherwise the deer will eat everything and we won't have any grapes. So yeah, it's higher than we want ideally, but for what we're doing, it works for us. Otherwise, you know, do what you got to do. Thought just for the heck of it, I would give you a little update on how the chicks and ducks are doing. You can almost see them in there hiding under the heat lamp. I'll open the door, they'll probably take off. They're a little skittish of stuff. There they are. Hey! Happy little birds hanging out together. Boy, they grow fast. Only a few days old.